Feel the power of Bethune-Cookman women's basketball. The Lady Wildcats, led by head coach Janelle Creighton, are fired up and ready to dominate the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Wildcats quickly in transition. Clark double team into the basket, goes with the spin.
Get ready to feel the excitement. It's time to hit the hardwood for today's game. Buckle up, Wildcat fans. It's about to get crazy. Now it's time to turn it over to the voice of the Wildcats, Mike Torello, on the CatEye Radio Network.
Well, live from Moore Gymnasium on the campus of Bethune-Cookman University in beautiful downtown Daytona Beach, Florida. It's time for the second to last home stand of the season for Bethune-Cookman basketball, and it begins tonight as the return leg from Mississippi, the Wildcats hosting the Jackson State Tigers. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Torello. Happy to have your company. Rejoining me after a week on the sidelines is Sabrina Petit-Holmes. Sabrina, we're glad you're back. We're glad you're feeling better, and it should be a good one tonight.
Yes, very excited to see both of these teams come together since our last game last season.
Let's jump into our Southeast Toyota dealers' keys to the game.
All right, keys to the game, and the first one goes to our very own BCU women's basketball team, and that'll be to finish strong. The Wildcats need to maintain their intensity from the start to finish. If we look at their stats from Texas Southern, they scored 10 points in the fourth quarter, and Prairie View scored 11. We need to find that intensity and keep it there from the beginning to the start, if not elevate it. If we go switch over to the Jackson State women's basketball team, we need to feed the beast and use our players. And that player in specific would be Talia Dilworth. She is a 5-time weekly SWAC player, averages about 15.8 points per game. She's 75% on the free throw, just an all-around monster player. So that's keys to the game.
Those were your Southeast Toyota dealers' keys to the game.
At home or on the road, they're never the underdog. Toyota, let's go places. Lease a new 2024 Toyota Tacoma SR5 for $389 a month for 36 months. Offer valid through February 3rd, 2025. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. $36.88 due at signing. No security deposit with select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax tag registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
The Jackson State Tigers come into tonight's matchup 9-2 in the SWAC, 11-11 overall, have the chance to get to above 500 on the season with a win tonight. They come in second place in the conference, tied with Southern at 9-2 after Southern beat Alabama A&M last weekend to push them down to 8-3 in the top 4. Looking beyond that, Grambling State 6-5, Florida A&M 5-6, Alcorn 5-6, Bethune-Cookman 4-7. Prairie View 3-8, Alabama State 3-8, and Mississippi Valley State 2-9, Arkansas Pine Bluff 1-10. The Wildcats not mathematically locked into that SWAC tournament yet. They got to win some games down the stretch.
Major work that needs to be done, and like we said during the keys to the game, is finding that consistency, finding what works for our team, playing defense, moving around the court. That's what's going to help us to get where we need to be in the running for the SWAC.
And the big advantage the Wildcats have tonight is on the glass. The Wildcats third in the SWAC in rebounds per game at 39.78. Tigers seventh in rebounds per game at 35.45. But the Wildcats, we've been harping on it all year. Free throws have hurt them all year, and turnovers have hurt them all year. 453 turnovers on this season for the Wildcats, and a team shooting at 61% from the free throw line. That is bottom of the SWAC, and it really hurt them against Prairie View last time out, where they only went 10 for 21 from the free throw line. If they hit 50% more of those free throws that they missed, they win that game.
Yes, we talk a lot about these second chance points. And I honestly feel like with the team that we have this year, these second chance points are going to be the ones to help us advance further and further into the conference. But we need to be able to find them and use them accordingly.
Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups. First for Bethune-Cookman. At guard is a 5'7" junior from Baltimore, Maryland. Damani Dorsey leads the team in three-point field goal percentage, 37.8%, and steals at 46. The do-it-all forward for the Wildcats is the junior out of South Euclid, Ohio, Aishane Nicholson. She leads the team in points per game, 12.57, and she leads the entire conference in rebounds with 240
Wow.
Next up for the Wildcats, Chanel McDonald, the senior forward, 6'2" out of Lake Wales, Florida. At point guard, it's going to be Jordan Brooks, the freshman out of Atlanta, Georgia. She leads the team in assists, and the final starter for the maroon and gold is the senior, 6'3" out of Miami, Kayla Clark, who leads the team in blocks, but also leads the team in turnovers. Got to clean that one up tonight. For Jackson State, we talked about her in the keys to the game. It's Talia Dildworth, the 5'8" junior guard from St. Louis, Missouri, the transfer from Kentucky State. 0 players return from the SWAC championship winning roster last year for Jackson State. There's a new coaching staff as well, headed up by Margaret Richards, who came over from Alabama A&M in the offseason to replace Tamika Reed, who is now at the University of Charlotte. The second starter for Jackson State tonight is Jalea Cotton, the junior 5'6" out of Bardstown, Kentucky, and a transfer from East Tennessee State. The third starter for Jackson State is the senior guard, 5'9" out of Trenton, New Jersey, Lanaya Maisone. Maisone, the team leader in steals at 29. Third on the starting lineup is their center, the 6'4" junior out of Danville, Kentucky, and originally from Nairobi, Kenya, Ruthie Mbugwa played her first 2 college seasons at Carson Newman down to the Division II level. And the final starter for Jackson State is the forward Zoe Cooper, the 5'11" senior from Birmingham, Alabama, started her collegiate career at the University of New Orleans, where she played 4 seasons. Those are tonight's starting lineups. Bethune-Cookman has come in winning only one of their last 3. That was the last time they were on this floor, a 71-40 victory over Alabama State. Jackson State, conversely, has won 3 of their last 4, with their only loss to Southern, who's tied with them for second place in the conference right now. They won at Grambling and then home against Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Mississippi Valley State last weekend. This Jackson State team pretty much stacked from top to bottom. Margaret Richards, has come in and done a terrific job in her first season. Former assistant coach at Kentucky State, Louisville, Clemson, and North Texas, and of course the last 2 seasons at Alabama A&M. The Wildcats coached by Janelle Creighton in her 4th season here at Bethune-Cookman, her first head coaching job, of course. Has some international experience in Ghana, played at Davidson, and then abroad in the Czech Republic and Turkey. She's a former assistant coach at UNC Asheville, William & Mary, Hampton, Kennesaw State, and others. Starting lineups have been introduced, and we're just about to get Thursday night hoops action rolling for you here on the CatEye Network. It's the Jackson State Tigers in the road blue, the Wildcats in the home gold, trimmed in maroon. Sabrina, the Wildcats are in for a battle tonight. It's a gulf between them in the standings, absolutely, but this home court often can negate such advantages.
Absolutely, and it'll probably be just a bit tough, with our crowd not being here per usual, but maybe that'll give them some time to really focus on what plays that need to be ran. We talked some more earlier about a blank canvas with JSU, so this will often give them an advantage to figure out what works for them as a team and what they can work on as well, too.
This is the start of the back half of conference play, the rematches.
Yep.
Up in Jackson last month, Bethune-Cookman fell to Jackson State. Can they return the favor here on home floor? We are underway as the Wildcats win the tip. Devontae Darcy starts out front for the Wildcats. Gets the screen from A.J. Nicholson. Chanel McDonald left wide open at the top of the key. Nicholson, nail jumper, nails it.
Starting to see some plays being ran through in the beginning of the game, and this is something that with my time being gone is different.
At the top, here's Mbugwa from Nairobi, Kenya. Up at the top now, Zoe Cooper, the 4 in this lineup. 3 on the way from Maisone, no good. Rebound for A.J. Nicholson, who has 11 double-doubles on the season and coming up off of another SWAC Newcomer of the Week performance last week in Texas. Wildcats really slow on offense, trying to drain some clock here early. Dorsey gets blitzed off the screen, shovels it back, 6 on the shot clock.
One thing I've noticed so far, the defense that JSU is in, that 2-3 defense, they're not pressuring as much as I thought that they would be.
The Wildcats have struggled into pressure on the defensive side, down low, and Bugwa throws it up and in. And Bugwa, a towering figure at 6'4". Gonna be a tough matchup for the Wildcats today down low.
It's the second time that I see that there hasn't been enough pressure that's been given from BCU, and this is something we really need to take advantage.
Long pass, Dilworth wide open, bucket is good. Wildcats just didn't get back on defense that time. Wildcats have gone to Asian and Nicholson for all of their offense so far.
I think I might have spoke too soon with the pressure. I think JSU was testing the waters to see what offensive plays that they're going to play to be able to read BCU.
3 straight outside shots for Nicholson. She's 1 for 3, but then she gets the steal on the outlet pass. Wildcats have an odd man rush. Clark blows by him, Bugwa, and scores. And your key to the game was finish strong, but the Wildcats need to start stronger, especially on defense.
Absolutely.
The pick and roll is wide open for Zoe Cooper.
For some reason, it kind of feels like, you know, we're sleeping right now.
And it's an inbounds infraction as the ball slipped out of Asia Nicholson's hands, and there's the first turnover of the night for the Wildcats.
No mistakes.
Checking in for the Wildcats, Janessa Kelly. She's turned herself into a three-point sniper this season. Has hit 33 pointers so far this year. Another one of these young freshman guards that have been asked to do a ton of work for Coach Creighton's side. Ball in the corner, Cotton has her pass deflected, but it comes straight back to Jackson State. Kick out 3 is good for Leanna Masonay.
I think something that we need to work on as a team on BCU side is being able to read the defense of the other team and counteracting that, using those plays to counteract that.
That's just, unlucky to get the rebound. Nicholson tries to throw it down low, and it's knocked away by Shalance Montoya.
And that ties back into what I said earlier about being able to read their defense and making those smart plays.
It was a good play by Montoya because McDonald was open underneath. Correction, Nicholson was open underneath. Getting to her spot and getting her shot blocked was Talia Dilworth, and then Dilworth gets it right back and is body checked by Dorsey.
You have to wake up.
Well, the second turnover for the Wildcats early. Bethune-Cookman, one of their first 4 from the floor after starting on a nice run to start the game on offense. It's been a 9-0 run, or 5-0 run, excuse me, for Jackson State. Dilworth the inbounder as Damani Dorsey comes out for the Wildcats. Montoya at the top, back to Dilworth. She goes left, lost the ball. And the Wildcats get it back. Good defense by the freshman Jordan Brooks. Jordan Brooks has been asked to do a lot in her true freshman season. Run the point the whole season. She does lead the team in assists.
And that gets me excited to see her growth, her upcoming growth as a player here at BCU.
Clark working on Montoya. Kick out, Kelly for 3, off to the right. And it goes out of bounds off of Asian A. Nicholson. Jackson State ball. Wildcats employ some full court pressure here. We've seen the Wildcats struggle against the full court press this season. Now let's see how they implement it.
Still not adding enough pressure. That's way too much time, and they broke it just like that.
Montoya under the basket, extra pass, and Dilworth got clobbered by Clark. And Talia Dilworth, who shoots free throws at 75%, is going to go to the free throw line. Dilworth, a junior out of St. Louis, Missouri, prepped at Lutheran North High School. Then 3 college seasons at the Division II level at Kentucky State. Averaged 11.8 points while as a thoroughbred at Kentucky State. And her first free throw rims out.
Now we're not too far behind as we thought we would be.
Again, you talked about consistency, starting fast on the offensive side, just 2 for 6 on the floor. And we haven't really gotten the ball down into the post.
But have been on the boards for defense. Steals, blocks already early into the game. That's good. So we just need to be able to use those second chances.
Now Jackson State shows some full court pressure in response to the Wildcats press.
That's how you want to press. Adding that pressure.
And break it with Nicholson. Back to Asiané. And they tried to throw it back to Nicholson, who had to chase it to the corner and then throws the ball away, picked off by Beretti. And then all the way, Jordan Brooks steals it.
What a steal.
Both teams loose with the basketball here in the last couple of minutes, but it's a 10-4 lead for Jackson State.
Now, those who are listening right now, the whole point of a press is to basically discombobulate the other team into throwing a pass that wasn't meant to be there.
Clark down low, back to Nicholson. That's a great handoff.
Great play that was being made.
Nicholson has 4 of the Wildcats' 6. That's almost like a pick and roll, but being run right in the arc instead of out on the top.
Absolutely. Another turnover from JSU.
Jordan Brooks decides to back out. Clark at the nail, working on Montoya, and she's going to get reached in on by Shalance Montoya. Shalance Montoya, the senior from Carlsbad, New Mexico, of Carlsbad Canyon National Park fame. Montoya's been all around the junior college ranks. She's played for 4 teams in 4 seasons as we hit the first media timeout. Western Texas College, Eastern Arizona College, Bluefield State, and now Jackson State. Wildcats trying to hang around down 4 at the first media timeout. Do you love Bethune-Cookman University sports? Of course you do. Then don't miss Hail Wildcats Radio, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of all 15 Wildcat sports programs. Hosted by voice of the Wildcats, Michael Turillo, and featuring the expertise of sports information directors Bryce Reynoski and Brian Harvey. Now Wildcats Radio delivers unparalleled coverage of your favorite teams. Tune in to 1380 WELE Daytona Beach every Thursday to catch the show live or listen anytime on your favorite podcast platform. Plenty of discussion about men's and women's basketball, but also softball and baseball that start this week.
Whole bunch of sports.
Golf is playing, tennis and track are playing. It's a jam-packed show every week you don't want to miss. Hail Wildcats Radio. The Wildcats not bad on the defensive side, but what do they need to do better on the offensive side? Disregard the press. In the half court, what do we need to do better?
I think, honestly, we need to do better passes. You know, using those defensive turnovers that JSU is giving us and turning those into plays. You know, those are a lot of points that we are being given right now if we would strategize a little bit more and use those in plays.
Wildcats go for a bit of a smaller lineup out of the timeout. They bring in Kamara Langston at the 4, so only one true big on the floor right now.
I definitely have seen a lot of plays from earlier this season that are being run.
Nicholson short on the layup.
We have to take our time to be able to run them correctly.
Cotton back to Mbugwa at the top. Down low, Mbugwa knocked away by Clark.
This is a great example of how we're going to be able to use this turnover into our advantage.
Langston back to Damani Dorsey. Sat the last couple of minutes with a foul. She gets a screen.
JSU is over here pressurizing with a 1-2-2 defense.
Clark goes right at him. Bugwa knocks down the mid-range jumper.
It's an amazing way to use those second-point chances.
The scoring has all been done by forwards so far. 4 for Nicholson, 4 for Clark.
Using our players wisely.
And they've held the Tigers scoreless the last 134.
Great movement down low on defense for the Wildcats. That's
Bugwa looking to move the ball. Here's Cotton on the baseline, double teams. 6 to shoot. To the baseline, a jumper is short by Zaria Glover, and Asia Nicholson takes the rebound. Chance to tie here for the Cats. Wide open on the baseline, Kamara Langston knocks it down, and we're tied at 10.
Something I noticed so far on defense, we're moving. That's exactly what we want to see. We're moving. We're not just staying in one place on that court. We're using every part of that court that we need.
But the Jackson State offense kind of invites that sort of movement, right? It's very spread, lots of down screens. Here's a 3 from the wing. No good. Ball batted around, and it'll be Jackson State ball, last touch by Damani Dorsey. But Jackson State is using a lot of, I'm not really sure on the technical term. It's not a weave action, but a lot of motion at the top, get players in space on the wing, and individual attacks and drives.
Yes, I do notice, though, whenever other teams, though, are to be able to play within motion, we tend to stay in the same area. But I definitely see a change of moving with the players.
Baseline jumper, no good. Rebound fought for by Glover, who put back is also no good. And then a foul as Glover shoves Nicholson out of bounds, and she gets a big applause from her bench.
Extremely happy of how the Wildcats are playing today.
I love how Asia Nicholson plays the game. Just no fear, attacking everything off the glass.
Absolutely.
She'll box out her own player. She'd box out Coach Creighton if she was down there.
Sacrifice, for the game, the love of game.
Kayla Clark comes out. Chanel McDonald back in for the Wildcats. Still no scoring done by guards for the Wildcats so far tonight. All 10 points from forwards. Nicholson, extra pass. McDonald goes to work and scores it.
Loving it.
Wildcats have seen that mismatch down low and are pounding the ball in the paint. And that's all after the media timeouts. A nice adjustment from Coach Creighton Del Rosario. Pick and roll. Cooper lost the ball, and it comes right to Janessa Kelly. Kelly almost throws it away. Langston cross-court pass. 3 on the way, just in and out from Damani Dorsey. It's a 8-0 run for the Wildcats over the last 3.5 minutes here. And great defense again.
I'm loving this. I'm really, really happy, Mike.
McDonald knocks the pass away. Langston pulls up from the baseline. Second effort from Chanel McDonald. She'll go to the charity stripe. We'll call that a pass from Langston down low.
Just to be safe.
Well, the last time these two teams met last month in Jackson, Asia Nicholson led the Wildcats with 14 points, and Kayla Clark had 15. But only one other player, Janessa Kelly, scored in double figures, and only one other player scored above 3. So it was not a very balanced scoring attack for the Wildcats.
Not at all, but we definitely found what we were missing this game.
Chanel McDonald misses on the first. And in that game, the Wildcats were just 3 of 6 from the free throw line, were held to just 6 free throw attempts, a season low.
Wow.
And I think the Wildcats, the way they've come out and are attacking the paint, is indicative of that. They want to try to change that. They don't want to go to the free throw line just 6 times. They want to get there 10, 20 times.
And, using those driving in is going to be able to take us there every time.
But it's a lot of post-ups, right? It's not a lot of drives to the paint. It's a lot of the guards are throwing it down low to the bigs who are trying to establish position.
Exactly.
The men's team, as I see Coach Thea standing over there taking this game in, does a lot of work off the drive-and kick. As an excellent press break for the Wildcats. Dilworth is fouled by McDonald, And the
More
students behind the goal, the students behind the goal don't like it. I think the block might have been clean, but you definitely hooked her around the waist with your offhand. So that's a foul. So Dilworth goes back to the line.
The keys to the game that we talked about for JSU, we said that we needed to feed the beast, more specifically Dilworth. I haven't seen them feeding her. You know, it's only been one quarter, but so far I haven't seen them, feed it to her as much as I would like to see.
Dilworth just 1 for 2 from the field, and now 2 out of 3 from the charity stripe. But she's getting to the line, which she's pretty darn good from the line, 75%. Here comes the counter press from Jackson State. And turned over by Kelly. But Kelly gets back defensively. Dorsey flies up the floor, goes all the way in and misses off the heel. Nicholson, the offensive putback. Great job last time defensively by Janessa Kelly to make up for that mistake.
Absolutely. You know, you want to be able to help out somewhere. If you're not, you made a mistake. Switching from a 2-3 to a 3-2, back to a 2-3 on defense. The Wildcats are moving on that floor, and it is a great sight to see.
Wide open jumper missed by Cotton. Wildcats take the board. Tough battle down low for Janessa Kelly as she was matched up against the 6'1" Jakaya Esco. 15 seconds to go first quarter. Wildcats have come back to take a lead here, 15-12. This will be the last shot of the first.
Let's make it a good one.
Kelly with 4, McDonald with 3, driving, floating, short. And the Wildcats will take a 3-point lead into the break. They finish on an 11-2 run since the media timeouts. Defense getting it done for the Wildcats so far in this first quarter.
I'm really happy to be back at this game to see that they're playing with so much energy. I've been saying this the entire first half, the first quarter. The Wildcats are moving defensive-wise, offensive-wise. They're running their plays. They're taking their time, slowing down when it's time to slow down, making concise shots. So I'm hoping that they can keep this level throughout the rest of the game.
And my favorite part about that first quarter was the adjustment on offense after the media timeout. They stopped taking outside shots. They said, we have the better centers. We have the better forwards. Let's just throw the ball into the paint. And it's been working for them.
Yes, and it goes back into what we said earlier about, being able to read the defense that Jackson State is in so we can make those shots, Very, very happy right now.
Wildcats 3 second chance points in that first quarter. Jackson State 0 second chance points in that first quarter, although the Wildcats did turn the ball over 7 times.
7 times.
Yes.
And
SWAC basketball is just around the corner. Don't miss your chance to catch every second of BCU basketball action here at Moore Gym. The Wildcats host a men's and women's doubleheader this Saturday, February 15th, as they welcome Alcorn State for a crucial conference matchup. Student admission is always free. Get your tickets today at bcuathletics.com/tickets. If you can't make it to Moore, catch it all live at youtube.com/CatEye Network. And Sabrina, I'm really looking forward to Saturday's doubleheader. Alcorn State got us when we were up there in Lorman last month.
Absolutely.
We're looking for some get back on Saturday.
Every single year, it's always a great game between Alcorn for the women's and men's basketball team. And I know we're going to have an amazing crowd.
If you're in Daytona Beach, you don't want to miss it. Come on out and support on Saturday nights. Second quarter on tap. Wildcats up 15-12. Talia Dilworth lost the ball. Asia Nicholson with the steal after the on-ball defense.
Maybe the keys to the game of feeding the beast was a little bit too early said.
Maybe. Jordan Brooks lost it the other way, though, trying to do a little bit too much. And the Wildcats tie it up, and we'll get the possession arrow. So nice heads-up play by the Wildcats. Now they've got the arrow, tie the ball up. Again, they've turned the ball over 7 times, but not a lot of it has come back to hurt them because they've gotten back on defense and played well.
Absolutely. I would like to see one of these plays on the baselines coming in, being ran correctly to the point where, we're making the points coming off baseline.
And getting simple shots.
Yeah.
Here's Horns for Brooks. 6 to shoot. Nicholson, Clark in the corner.
Nice.
Gets her defender in the air and gets the home
I've
roll.
seen it. That staggering pump fake that Kayla Clark made down below is, always a sight to see. Nice
And a turnover
defense.
on the other end.
Goodness. This is what I want to see.
Dorsey
Wow.
splashes from the mid-range. 19-12 Wildcats.
This is definitely a get-back game, Mike.
So far,
Yeah, definitely a get-back game.
Wildcats playing terrific defense right now. They've turned Jackson State over 9 times in the ballgame. Little hesitation from Mason A, and she misses it.
Starting to think that Jackson State a little bit underestimated just a tad.
Well, anybody can start hot. Let's fix that. Shelley.
Yes.
But especially the Wildcats on their own floor with something to prove tonight.
Yep.
You gotta keep it going though. Consistency, as you said in the pregame.
Yep.
Kayla Clark bottled up,
Nice.
spins
Mike,
and wins.
I'm going crazy right now because all I wanted to see with Kayla Clark throughout this entire game was those post moves. That's
Timeout.
what we're looking for.
Jackson State, the Wildcats have befuddled head coach Margaret Richards right now.
I'm befuddled, Mike. I'm not going to lie to you.
6-0 run for the Cats. Jackson State scoreless the last 2:27. The Wildcats on a 15-3 run overall.
My goodness. I haven't seen the women's basketball team this season so far play as eloquently as they're playing right now. And it truly is making me happy because I was coming in thinking like, okay, I might have some notes for them. There might be some adjustments to be made. But so far, keep doing what they're doing.
We saw a little bit of this team's potential against Alabama State 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
We scored, 70-41. That was a big win for us.
Yes.
But they weren't able to sustain it on the road in Texas with 2 close losses. I think there's been some thinking in the team that like, oh, maybe it's not our year, but with a performance like this so far,
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that one.
anybody can beat anybody else in this league.
Yes.
It's so spread out.
Yes.
I mean, even Texas Southern, the
I was
Wildcats gave
just
them
about to bring that
the
up.
Wildcats gave them a run, and
Yeah.
I was listening to the Texas Southern broadcast last week. They were a little concerned that they might fall to the Wildcats
Yeah.
before the Wildcats faded away in the fourth quarter, and that's why I want to temper our expectations a bit.
Yeah.
Remember, we've said the fourth quarter has been an issue for the Wildcats.
Yes.
Yes, we got to get to the fourth quarter and be in a position to win the game, and then close the game out from there.
Whatever strategy they're using for their mindset to keep themselves level-headed for each quarter, we need to continue to keep playing like this every game. I'm proud.
This is going to be a big matchup right now because Layla Lancaster is into the game, and she's matched up against the 6'4" Mbugwa.
Yep.
Dilworth, maybe trying to take things into her own hands. Altered shot by Clark. Jordan Brooks wants to run. Look at Kayla Clark sprinting down the floor, but the pass just a little bit too far in front of her. Nice effort by Clark.
Some things that I also, a small tiny note, I don't want to get too excited, that I would love to see from our post players who are down low trying to get the rebound. I would love to see their foot being planted when they're blocking, because those are how we are drawing those fouls. From the other team are drawing the fouls from us. We keep jumping with them. We don't need to jump with them. Like that, for example.
Baseline jumper, no good. Clark the rebound, and I like the fact that the Wildcats, last possession notwithstanding, are not really going too fast on the offensive end. That's one of the things that's troubled them, is they've gotten into these sets on offense where they overthink, they play too fast, they make an incorrect pass. Agent Nicholson attacks and gets to the free throw line. But it's very composed.
Yep.
It's very in control.
Yep.
I'm a fan of how the guards, Dorsey and Brooks, are sharing the ball.
You know what it is? I honestly think that they're starting to read the court a lot more, throughout this game. They took a couple of games, but they're starting to read the court, mesh with their teammates as well, seeing how they play and incorporating that within the games.
Asia Nicholson to the free throw line. The reigning SWAC newcomer of the week, as she's been pretty much most of the season, averaging a double-double on the year, leads the SWAC in rebounds. In a league that has pretty consistently been center and forward dominated, it's so interesting to see Asian Nicholson at only 5'11" come in and lead the SWAC in rebounds.
She definitely has that energy, that dog in her to be able to go, fight for those.
She got both free throws too, which is a part of her game that's been missing a lot this year. The Wildcats in full court press. They've been in and out of this press in the first half.
I just want them to run it one time really well, just one time.
The middle is open for Dilworth. Diaka Beretti, the Toronto, Canada native. Hands back to Cotton, who has yet to score tonight. Dilworth is Jackson State's leading scorer with 5. Cotton, bottled up. She picks up a dribble and throws the ball away.
Oh my goodness, Kayla Clark.
Dorsey, transition jumper. This is a little bit too strong, and that's what I meant about playing a little bit too fast. Dilworth open on the baseline. Missed the shot, though. Long rebound out to Dorsey. Cross-court pass. Kelly. I thought she was going to spot that up for a 3.
Oh,
but
baseline. We definitely missed the baseline.
Well, the call from coach was to reset.
Ah, okay.
But yeah,
Disregard.
Nicholson was wide open down there.
Absolutely.
Lancaster gets the pass away. Jackson State still scoreless in this quarter. Kayla Clark is fouled.
I'm so happy to see her using her body more in those posts, using those post moves, being agile.
Layla Lancaster puts in a shift and comes out for Chanel McDonald. How important are the freshman centers, Layla Lancaster and Maya Johnson, just to give Nicholson and Clark a bit of a breather in the middle of these games, as AJ Nicholson will take a seat for the first time today?
He's very smart. You know, we're keeping these players fresh, especially how they have been playing the first 2 quarters so far. You know, I think it's very, very smart for us to do that. Continue to keep them level-headed. And
the Wildcats are a very young team. Yes, they're led by 2 seniors in McDonald and Clark, but, you know, you look down the roster, Janessa Kelly's a freshman. Jordan Brooks a freshman. Layla Lancaster, Alyssa Green, Maya Johnson, all freshmen. And all have played some significant minutes this season.
Yeah.
The Wildcats have doubled up the Jackson State Tigers. It is 24-12. Jackson State has not scored so far in this second quarter. There's Jalea Cotton. Back to Beretti. Beretti is averaging 8.6 a game, but yet to score tonight. Driving is Kelsey. Back to Cotton. Splashes the 3, and Jackson State is finally on the board in the second quarter.
Is this the first 3 that was made by Jackson State?
The second one. They had one right at the beginning of the game.
Yes, second.
And the Wildcats turn it over. Bad pass by Kelly.
It's the recovery. Now this is all the recovery.
Extra pass, Cotton again, and she is into her motion. She's got 2 straight, does Jalea Cotton, and timeout Wildcats.
Jackson State finding their motion back again.
So the Wildcats have been doing a good job at guarding the paint, but they've been leaving that 3 ball open a little bit.
I'm really happy that they haven't been as much shooting threes as much as they usually do. Only like we talked about, having those smart plays. I think that's probably the best thing for us right now, unless we are, you know, definite in the players to shoot those. We don't want to be able to lose out on those points.
And Jackson State's not a bad 3-point shooting team, shooting it at 31.6%. That's second in the SWAC. Conversely, the Wildcats shooting at just 27%, but they've only attempted 1 3 so far, and that was DeMonte Dorsey right at the end of the first quarter.
And they saw that it wasn't working, and they cut it right there and, you know, found something different.
Yeah.
My biggest fear right now is, you know, those last 2 threes that was being made within those games. I don't want it to get into the head of the Wildcats, you know. Just because JSU is finding their fire back, I want them to continue to play how they're playing. You know, keep being consistent, keep doing what they got to do, focus on their team and moving forward.
And just like that, Jalea Cotton has moved into the team lead for Jackson State with 6 quick points on 2 threes. What do you think Coach Creighton Del Rosario was saying to the Wildcats in that huddle?
To stay level-headed. Stay level-headed. Continue to do what you need to do.
I'm not sure that's how they drew it up, but the Wildcats will get the foul on the hook by Dilworth. Correction, that foul's going to go on Cooper. A good little off the backboards pass. Never hurt anybody. But again, you can see the Wildcats speeding up, getting a little bit anxious, trying to do too much.
Yeah, and that's not what we're looking for. You know, I was in fear that those three-pointers by Jackson State was going to do that, but I just want them to, you know, stay level-headed. Running an X inbound play.
Wide open is Clark. Back out Nicholson. And back to Kayla.
Hello.
No good. Offensive rebound. Put back, no. Clark battling for it.
Chanel.
McDonald,
Let's
yes.
go.
Second and third and fourth efforts for the Wildcats on the offensive glass. We did say coming into the game, the Wildcats have the edge in rebounding.
Yep. Something I've definitely realized so far. We're coming into this last timeout play. JSU has been upping the fire.
Nobody guarding the three-point line. It'll be Wildcat ball, last touch by Mbugwa. Well, the Wildcats are just banking on Jackson State missing those three-pointers. They are banking down, bunkering in the paint.
But JSU cannot rely on those three-pointers to get them where they need to be, because they're not always going to fall unless they're like, you know, Stephen Curry.
Well, right now, they're 3 of 5 from 3. That's 60%. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Janessa Kelly in the corner for the Wildcats. McDonald 10 to shoot, and they put it up for Nicholson, but Moretti had inside position. Tierney Kelsey, back to Moretti.
The heat is
Round it
on.
goes, Cotton for three. Oh, in and out. Up ahead, Kayla Clark, all the way. That's her first field goal miss of the game, and a wild rebound comes down to Jackson State, and Masonay never got back on defense, which means she's wide open at the other end to cherry pick 2 points.
Yep.
And here comes Jackson State as the Wildcats have been held scoreless for about the last 2 minutes.
Find that fire, find that intensity, find it.
An 8-2 run for Jackson State right now. Fired by those 2 Cotton threes. There's a travel by McDonald.
I think this is a great time for us to regroup. These next 3 minutes are crucial on how we're going to be going into the second half.
Yeah. Lots of turnovers so far tonight. Jackson State 10 turnovers, the Wildcats 8. Wildcats still up by 6, but they've led by as many as 12. 3 on the way from Beretti, short. Wildcats again looking to sprint in transition. Dorsey will reset.
Nice, being able to set that down.
Wildcats have gone slow as molasses on the offensive side, just trying to see if they can get to halftime with a lead here.
If that's what they need to do.
Defender falls down against Dorsey. Clark the catch at the nail. She pulls up and rattles out. And a foul going to be called on Ajahnay Nicholson.
On Ajahnay Nicholson?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
no, it
Like,
is.
question mark.
It is
Okay,
Jackson
okay.
State ball. It is on Nicholson. First foul on Nicholson. Nobody on the Wildcats with more than 1. But Nicholson does have 3 turnovers so far tonight. Another empty possession for the Wildcats, and it feels like every empty possession on offense means so much more because Jackson State has so much offensive power. Beretti.
Nice. Kayla
Rejected
Clark.
by Clark, but Beretti got it right back. Here's Dilworth. Down low, Montoya muscles it through over Clark. The lead down to just 4 for the Wildcats. It's been as big as 12.
I think JSU found their fire. I think we're losing ours. I think we need to find our spark back. That's what we're looking for.
Where do you go? We go to Jordan Brooks at the free
What a
throw
mixed
line.
match.
Yeah, I don't think Brooks liked that matchup. 10 to shoot. Open is Dorsey. No good. The Wildcats still haven't hit a 3 tonight, but they get the offensive rebound. 1:40 to go in the first half.
Kayla Clark is leading the team right now down low, telling people where to go.
She's got the ball, and her pass is intercepted, intended for Nicholson. all the way in, a foul.
Reach in.
As Tierney Kelsey went to the basket.
It worked the first time, but as soon as Damani reached in, they called that foul.
And I'll tell you what, the Wildcats have not adjusted to the adjustment for Jackson State.
No, not yet.
In the first quarter and at the start of the second, Jackson State was getting beat by the Wildcats in the paint with the entry pass.
Yes.
After Coach Richards called timeout, now they're denying the entry pass, and the Wildcats are afraid to shoot the deep ball.
Yes, and we have to figure out how to, like we talked about earlier, figure out if they're making adjustments, how can we fix ourselves to put ourselves in a further aspects.
Tierney Kelsey, the freshman from Memphis, Tennessee, and Whitehaven High School, the former Memphis News Player of the Year, is at the charity stripe. Hits the free throw at 78%. This is the second one. Wildcats by 3. Again, they've led by as many as 12 in this second quarter. It's been all Jackson State since the media timeout. 5-0 run for the Tigers.
Take their time. They're moving a little too fast. Foul.
Offensive foul. It's going to go an illegal screen on Kayla Clark. That's Clark's second foul. I wouldn't be surprised if she comes out until halftime. I'll leave her in.
Yeah, last minute, but she has to be very careful with these fouls.
And she's against Montoya, who has that matchup. Montoya already has scored over her on this run. She's got the ball right now. Kelsey didn't take the three. They reset to Masonet. The Canada native Masonet hands off Cooper, who's got the 2 threes in this period. Masonet tries a three, too strong.
It's a nice play ran by JSU, though. That's one thing I got to give them that.
Kelly almost, oh, turned it over. Kelly was not paying attention, and Brooks threw it off of her hands and out of bounds. So the Wildcats have now turned the ball over 11 times in this first half.
My goodness.
Oh, no, it deflected off of Kelsey. My apologies. So the Wildcats will keep it. Again, it's hard for us to see down that corner of the floor. 37 seconds to go in the first half.
Nice.
Kayla Clark, another blow by.
Using that body.
Clark's got 11 in the first half.
It's amazing to see the growth in Kayla Clark from when she was a freshman to now. You know, I just graduated in May, so, you know, I was actually coming to these games and watching her play.
Horns for Cooper. This will be the last possession of the first half. They go down low, Montoya. It's knocked out of bounds by Kelly. But again, good to deny the catch. Because Montoya against Kelly, that's a big mismatch.
It is, absolutely. Something that we're not looking for.
Dilworth on the baseline.
Nice deflection.
4 to shoot. Clark has that shot altered, and the Wildcats will take a 5-point lead into the break. I didn't think we'd be saying that when we sat down today, Sabrina.
Not at all. I came in prepared to take notes, prepared to give my opinion on what I feel like that should have been fixed. But honestly, I am in awe of and very proud on how the women's basketball team, our team, our girls right now, how level-headed they have been playing. The first point where it all started for me was that motion defense that they were being able to play in the beginning of the game, all over that court, following their offense. I think that's something that we need to continue to look for, that we can go ahead and back it up with Kayla Clark, who's using her body at the top of the key and the bottom of the key to be able to ensure those shots. The team is playing as one. It's like we all have the same brain, and that's something that we want to continue to see, find that intensity. What I was scared of is those 2 threes that JSU had lost. I want to make sure that we can find that intensity before that, keep it, and then keep it moving. One thing I do want to highlight, Jackson State closed the first half on an 11-4 run. They were down by 12. Yeah. They're now down by just 5. Yeah. Jackson State's not a team that's going to go away. And at the start of the second half, they're going to come out with a lot of intensity. It's going to be important for the Wildcats to weather that storm and continue to put pressure on the offensive side. Sabrina, I want your opinion. When the Tigers deny that entry pass to the Wildcats, be it to Clark or be it to Nicholson, where do the Wildcats go offensively? Because we've looked a little lost without it. That charity stripe. They need to go to that charity stripe. That free throw line is going to be the key for us to getting those points. They run a 2-3 offense. If that point down low is being denied, they're going to be able to push up to the top of the key with the ball. You'll be able to deflect it to the bottom. Boom, that's a layup right there. If we drive continuously to use the mid-rangers, those are the places we're going to be able to find. And our team is really good with mid-rangers. Chanel McDonald, mid-range queen, Ajane, Caleb Clark. These are some of the players that we're going to be able to use. We talked about earlier on using our players, and that was for Jackson State. But I think the same thing goes for the Wildcats in using our players to push us to the better half of this game.
So you want to see more drives instead of more post-ups?
Yes, more stuff. We resulted that. We know it works, but we know that they have something to counter that. Let's counter that by using ourselves, our mid-rangers, use the top of the key. Let's use those.
We'll take a break for halftime. When we come back, we'll have the halftime stats go around the SWAC and get you set for the second half here at Moore Gymnasium. The Wildcats lead it 28-23 at the break. This is Bethune-Cookman University basketball on the CatEye Network. Welcome back to Moore Gymnasium, where the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman have a 28-23 lead at halftime over the Tigers of Jackson State. Let's get you your first half scoring totals. First for Jackson State, pretty quiet night offensively for the Tigers. Cotton has 6 on 2 3-pointers, and that's it for her. Masonnet has 5, Dilworth has 5, Mbugwa has 2, Cooper has 2, Montoya has 2, and Kelsey has 1. And for Bethune-Cookman, it's been all forwards all the time. Clark has 11. Nicholson has 8 points and 7 rebounds. Guess what? She's on double-double watch again.
Oh, my goodness.
McDonald has 5. Dorsey has 2. And Langston has 2. Team stats look like this. The Wildcats have out-rebounded Jackson State 21-11.
Wow.
And 6-2 on the offensive glass. Second chance points 5-0 in favor of the Wildcats. When have you seen a team go an entire first half without giving up a second chance point?
It's been a long time.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Both teams have 8 assists. Both teams have turned the ball over 10 times. The Wildcats have 11 points off those turnovers. Jackson State 7. Points in the paint favor the Wildcats 16-10. Fast break points also favor the Wildcats 6-5. BCU has 2 blocks to Jackson State's 0, and both teams have 6 personal fouls. The one concerning thing, Dorsey's got 2 and Clark's got 2 for the Wildcats.
Yeah.
Team stats look like this. Jackson State shooting 33% from the floor, just 8 of 24 from the field in the first half for Jackson State. The same mark from 3 for 9, that's 33%, and 4 of 6 from the free throw line. The Wildcats 44% from the floor, 12 of 27. 0 of 3 from beyond the arc, although the Wildcats, I think, have realized that the three's not falling tonight. Let's get points to the paint.
Yep.
And 66% on their free throws as well. Let's go around the SWAC. Take a look at the scores happening tonight now. Women's basketball, it is just at the start of the third quarter. Alabama State 36, Mississippi Valley State 31. That is at Valley, and that is really important because if Valley beats Alabama State, they vault over the Hornets for the final playoff spot. So look out for Valley coming down the stretch. Alcorn State has a 1-point lead over Florida A&M with 30 seconds to go in the third quarter, 48-47. It's just underway in the second quarter in Southern. It's a matchup of first versus second. Texas Southern 12, Southern 13. What a battle in Baton Rouge tonight. We'll keep you updated on that score throughout the evening. Alabama A&M looks to rebound from a loss to Southern over the weekend. They lead 34-27 over Arkansas Pine Bluff at the half in Arkansas. And out in Grambling State 15, Prairie View A&M 19 at the end of the first quarter. That's your around the SWAC. Again, I'm keeping an eye on Alabama State, Mississippi Valley.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
It's a 1-point game right now as Valley tries to get into the playoff spots, which a couple weeks ago, Bryce Bryan and I were saying on Hail Wildcats Radio that we've got our 10 teams for the playoffs pretty well and truly done. Valley and Pine Bluff are probably out of it.
Yep.
And then Valley stole a game last week.
Yep.
They're on the verge of stealing a game this week. That's without their best player, Shadime McKnight, out for the year with an ACL injury.
Yep.
Their coach left the program, so they have an administrator as their coach, and they're still finding ways.
They have a lot to fight for, a lot to work for, and they're not giving up without no fight. So this is going to be a very interesting game to see.
What do you want to see for the Wildcats in the second half? I know a lot of the same, but if you would change one thing for Bethune-Cookman, what would it be?
That's a great question. I think more so what we talked about before the first half was over, was, being able to adjust with JSU's defense, more mid-range shots. We know we can't drive no more because we have a powerhouse down below for Jackson State, but let's use our mid-range shots, use our forwards who can make those. Chanel McDonald, Kayla Clark. Let's use that.
Jackson State will start with the ball to start half number 2. They trail by 5. Bethune-Cookman 28, Jackson State 23. At the end of the first half in Jackson last month, it was Jackson State 32, Bethune-Cookman 23. So the Wildcats 5 to the good, but they were 12 behind in Jackson last month. 9 behind, 32-23. We're waiting for the clock to reset. we should be good to go. Yeah, cue Jeopardy music as we wait for the second half to start here at Moore Gymnasium. The clock is set. Everything should be good. And away we go. Oh, no, now we're sending everybody back to our benches.
Well, cue Jeopardy music again.
Cue Jeopardy music again. Baseball is back at the beach. Come catch the Diamond Cats for opening weekend as they host the Seawolves of Stony Brook for a 3-game series at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. First pitch is set for 7 p.m. on Friday, 6 p.m. on Saturday, and 1 p.m. on Sunday. New this season, admission is free for all to attend. Come catch the action less than a mile from campus or watch it all free at youtube.com/CatEye Network. I will say that it is weather permitting this weekend. It rain in the forecast.
And that was just our luck last season with baseball. It's always raining.
Cotton, who had the 2 threes late in the first half, off on the first shot of the second half. Baseball looking to make another run at the SWAC title. Got to the semifinals last year. Nice horn set. Dorsey, the mid-ranger, misses it short. And Damani Dorsey is on the ground as Mbugwa is chased from behind by Clark. And Damani Dorsey is down behind the play. And we'll hope to resolve that as quickly as possible as the teams will go to the benches. Tough break for Damani Dorsey. I mean, she had some injury problems last year. Battled her way back, has been the starting point guard the last couple of games for the Wildcats. And she leads the team in steals. Great work defensively, and she's done a great job tonight because she's been the man or the woman, guarding Dilworth for the most part and has held her to 5 points, 3 of those from the free throw line. Dorsey's going to get up and be helped to the bench. So now without one of your upperclassmen leaders, that's probably going to be Janessa Kelly and Jordan Brooks, 2 freshman guards running the show for the Wildcats in the second half. And a big moment for Brooks, and it's important for her not to let the moment get too big for her. Just run the offense, make the passes. But right now the Wildcats got to play defense.
This is a different inbound defense I've seen that the Wildcats have used.
So the Wildcats without their best on-ball defender in Damani Dorsey. Kicked out wing 3, too strong. Boxing out for the rebound is McDonald. Let's see how the Wildcats offense looks. Ajane Nicholson at the top of the key. Clark working down low, trying to get position. They throw it to her, back to Kelly. She fires a 3. Kaboom!
Drains it.
First 3 of the game for the Wildcats, and it comes from the freshman sniper, Janessa Kelly. Wildcats can need a lot more of those tonight. Here's Dilworth, held to 5 points in the first half, and a foul called on Nicholson. That's her third. No correction, her second.
That one looks a little questionable in my opinion.
And Coach Creighton Del Rosario is not happy about that one. It looked like Dilworth slipped down.
Yes, absolutely.
And she wants an explanation from the official. And Dilworth is going to go to the line where she had 3 of her 5 points in the first half, 3 of 4 from the stripe for Dilworth. Shooting a very respectable 75.8% from the season. Got the first one. Dilworth, the former Kentucky State player at the Division II level, averaged 11 points in her 3 college seasons for the Thoroughbreds. Got both that time. And that's a way that Jackson State can get back into this game. They're the best in the SWAC at free throws. Just get to the line, and another turnover as a hot pass cannot be handled by Janessa Kelly. It'll be interesting at the end of the game to look back on points off turnovers. The Wildcats had the edge at the end of the first half. Will they have the edge at the end of the second? Dilworth, backdoor pass, couldn't handle it. Turnovers beget turnovers, and Jackson State is really playing a BCU-style game right now. Sloppy, lots of turnovers. And I think the Wildcats are feeding off of that energy a little bit.
We need to be able to keep that momentum throughout the rest of this third quarter. Games, we have one more quarter left, and, you know, we're not in a bad place right now, but I just don't want us to get ahead of ourselves.
Up by 6, but you got to keep finding consistent offense from somewhere. And Nicholson's been bottled up for the most part tonight. Mid-range, banks in from McDonald.
Exactly what we talked about, what we're looking for.
Chanel
those mid-ranges.
opens her bank account for the evening and gives the Wildcats a 33-25 lead. Tierney Kelsey attacking the freshman Janessa Kelly. Big screen from Dilworth. In the corner, here's Cotton. And back to Kelsey. 8 on the shot clock. Kelsey goes left. Gets a mismatch against McDonald, but can't hit the shot.
Ajane with the rebound.
Nobody came back to the ball, though.
They're ready to get back on offense.
Yeah, they were running the floor.
We talked about earlier on one thing that we wanted to see is use those mid-rangers, those threes. You know, we can't attack the bottom of the court as we used to.
Kelly got stripped, and a tie-up is going to go the way of Bethune-Cookman. Janessa Kelly into the game, replacing Damani Dorsey, who went out injured right at the start of the second half, has looked a little bit rattled so far.
Yeah.
Kelly's turned it over twice so far in the second half. 9 to shoot. Kayla Clark up top. She's used that blow-by to great effect. Wide open is McDonald.
Mike, this is exactly what I was talking about. Pulling that ball up to the I'm losing my thought right now. Pulling the ball up to the free throw line and dropping it down below. That's a perfect example of that last play.
Clark drew the double team and took advantage of it. Corner 3 rattles down. It's Cotton again. She's up to 9 points on 3 triples. The 3-ball keeping Jackson State around in this one.
Nice motion.
Clark
nice.
Spins. Oh, missed it off the heel, but Nicholson's right there. She got fouled on the putback. And you mentioned the charity stripe.
Yep.
A place where both teams have not gone much in this game.
Not at all. I want them to really use that. When they're in the game and they're playing, we see JSU in a 2-3 defense. Please use that charity stripe to shoot those mid-rangers. If it's not there, drop it to the post because it's going to be open because they're fleeing to the top.
And Jackson State went to the line a lot in the first matchup between these two teams. 16 of 20 for JSU back in January. First one no good, short for Nicholson. Got the second one. Zaria Glover back in. One of the 3 Tigers that has played but not scored. Glover, Esco, and Beretti are those 3 players. Cats up 8 right now. Their largest lead was 12, right? At the midway point of the second quarter. They tried that backdoor to Dilworth. And a foul called. That's going to be the 3rd on Nicholson.
This is what we were talking about. When you're going up with your contender, we need to make sure that our foot is staying on the ground. They're going to call a foul on this every single time, every time. We jump with them, they're going to call the foul. Keep those feet planted.
And now you're going to have to take Nicholson out of the game. You don't want her to pick up a 4th.
It's a whole quarter next. She's been all over the court today. Very proud of her.
9 points, 9 boards.
Yep. Close for a real double-double.
Another one. She has 11 on the season so far.
I wonder how much she's going to have by the end of the season.
And picked up 2 more over the weekend, even in the 2 losses for the Wildcats. But Dilworth has gotten to the line and made the Wildcats pay. And she missed the second one. Clark boxes out for the board. Tough catch by Kelly in the corner.
You can tell the team is screaming. She want that ball. Give her that ball.
She's got it, but she threw it out of bounds. Not in the right spot for Kamara Langston.
I think it's the loudest I've heard Chanel scream all season.
Oh, yeah. We heard it up here.
Right? We're pretty far.
Wildcats clinging to this lead.
See how they're pulling up to the top?
This is Zoe Cooper. And around it goes. That's a long 2, and it's good.
It's a beautiful arch tag.
Zaria Glover gets on the board for the first time tonight. And the lead is back to 5, where it was at the end of the first half. Jackson State has made 3 of their last 4 from the field. Wildcats just 1 of their last 6. Targeting Clark down low. Clark sets the screen, and the pick and roll is picked off.
You got to find that momentum we had in the first quarter back again.
But again, it's denying the entry pass, something that Jackson did has done really well ever since that timeout or midway point of the second quarter.
They switch gears super fast. Watch that baseline. That baseline, they're going to keep running that baseline.
They hand the ball back to Kelsey. She steps back into a 3 and missed it. Rebound caroms out to Brooks.
Speeds pass through.
Langston puts it up, blocked. And alone on the other end is Dilworth. No contest, lays it in. Timeout, Bethune-Cookman, as the lead is just 3, the closest it's been since the media timeout of the second quarter.
Now, Mike, we talked about how you said that JSU was not going anywhere, and they indeed are not going anywhere. But one thing we also talked about with the women's basketball team is that we need to be able to ensure that consistency, that intensity that we had first quarter. We got to figure out what was it that, ticked us and keep that, because we're slowly decreasing that level of intensity and letting JSU slowly, walk us by. We have to find it. This is the time that it usually starts to drop, and we don't want that.
Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. And make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com and click on Shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com. And click on Shop. We knew the run would come from Jackson State, and here it is. They've held the Wildcats scoreless over the last 155, and in that time have made a 5-0 run of it and an 8-1 run over the last 2:33 to close to within 3 points. Talia Dilworth up to 10. Just 2 for 5 from the field, but we've given her chances at the free throw line. She's 6 out of 8 at the charity stripe. The Wildcats only 8 points in this quarter, 3 of 5 from the floor.
With 4 minutes and 39 seconds left in this game, I really do hope that they use this timeout to readjust, is the word that we used last game, to, cater ourselves to running our plays and, blowing past JSU.
I've been watching the battle in the paint between the bigs, and it just seems like Jackson State is doing a better job at getting inside positioning in the second half against Clark and McDonald, and now Layla Lancaster into the game for the Wildcats as she'll run the 5 position and put Clark at the 4. Clark at the free throw line. Sizes up Mbungwe and gets fouled by Mbungwa, excuse me. As we go, our second media timeout in succession. Unfortunately, that's how the women's works in the third quarter. You have the first called timeout as a media, and then the under 5 timeout is also a media.
So they're right back to each other.
So we have time to sit and chat a little bit.
Let's talk.
But again, I like the fact they've gone right back to the painted area, keep attacking. Kayla Clark is on one tonight. She's got 11. Clark's season high is 21. Not sure she's going to get up there tonight, but she's
close.
She's averaging 7.
Yeah.
And she's already got 11 as well as 6 rebounds. I think they just need to keep feeding Kayla Clark. And I like when she does that little drop of the shoulder,
yes.
little jab step, and
yes.
just blows by her defender.
Yes, that pump fake is, starting to be my favorite. And, I've been bragging about her all night on how much I have seen her improve and using her body to, with the size that she has, using it to her advantage in making those shots, drawing those fouls. Super happy about that.
Yeah, but with Asia Nicholson having those 3 fouls and being out for the foreseeable future, it's going to be tough for the Wildcats. They got to continue to rebound.
Yes.
With their leading rebounder on the bench.
Yes, somebody has to pick up that. I don't want to say slack, but somebody has to pick up where Ajane left off at.
And it might as well be Kayla Clark.
Yes, I think that'll be a great one.
And I really think Kayla Clark has had the measure of Mbugwe tonight, especially on the offensive end.
But we could definitely tell that Kayla Clark is beating her offensively and defensively.
I think that Jackson State has actually been better tonight at the 5 position when Shalance Montoya is in the game. Kayla Clark at the free throw line, got the first one. Clark on the season shooting free throws at just 35%.
That's not
free throw shooting has hurt this team a lot this season. Second one is good too. 2 for 2 that time as Jackson State will make a change, bring Cotton back in. Dilworth has 10 for Jackson State. Cotton's got 9.
I've been looking so far who this player of the game is going to be on the BC Wildcats. I'm still looking.
For me, it's Kayla Clark right now.
So
She's
far,
got 12 and 6 with 5 assists as well. You can't overlook that.
No, not at all. She's been playing great.
For Jackson State, the modus operandi here for Coach Margaret Richards, I think, is going to continue to attack the paint on drives.
Yes. We fell into a 1-1-3 defense, and they're moving. I think this is the slowest I've seen JSU play, though.
Cotton. Down low it goes, and traveling with the ball is Zoe Cooper. Give the ball back to the Wildcats, and I think Jackson State also might look to put some pressure here.
Yep.
Cooper, befuddled, didn't feel like she traveled, but the referees call it, give the ball back to the Cats. And I think the Wildcats will try and slow it down. And look who's back on the floor, Damani Dorsey.
Yes.
Kelly in the corner, just short.
Rebound.
An offensive foul, pushing the back on Langston. That's the correct call. It's unfortunate for the Wildcats, but that's the correct call. She was all in the back of Cotton.
Still at a pretty good place.
Yeah, and then that's a tough miss for Kelly. She has the only Wildcat 3 of the ball game right at the beginning of this third quarter. And that was a good look from the corner, just a little bit long. Good. Drive and a block. Big rejection by Kayla Clark as she denied Cotton. Jackson State will keep it, though, with 17 on the shot clock.
Really happy about how entertaining this game has been this far.
SWAC basketball.
Yep.
Any night, anybody can beat anybody. Cotton in the corner. She's drained 3 triples so far tonight. That's all 9 of her points.
Watch that baseline.
Cotton splits a double team and has her shot rejected by Lancaster.
My goodness, defensive vibes. This team has been all over the court tonight.
How about the freshman Layla Lancaster with the big rejection? Maya Johnson on the bench loving it for the Wildcats.
Use those mid-rangers. Use those mid-rangers.
And a 3-second violation against Lancaster.
Gotta use your feet. These are those small things that will cost us those extra points. Turnovers, small calls.
Freshman mistake from Lancaster.
Absolutely. Let's see if we can fix those.
And she was calling for the ball, but she didn't have position against Mbugwa. So Clark never threw it to her, and she got the 3-second violation. Both teams cold to the floor right now. This 5-point lead staying where it is. Dilworth missed it right. Wildcats running in transition. Clark at the top. Now the Wildcats, again, going really slow on offense here.
Playing their pace. They're changing the pace. You know, they're not playing JSU's pace. But on the, negative side, we don't want them to be able to read our passes because we take so long.
Clark just pulls up and gets the home roll off the rim.
I think she solidified my player of the game. I know we're only, so far into third quarter, but she's been playing a heck of a game all night.
Quick 4-0 spurt for the Cats. The lead is back to 7, and
We
Bugwa
have to stop
misses.
jumping, though. That could have been easily a foul, and we are already down.
Lancaster with the nice contest.
Yes.
That's freshman Lancaster against junior Mbugwa.
We're bringing in Montoya. Just checked in.
Down low Clark. One-handed catch, but it got rejected by Cooper. Unfortunately for Jackson State, Cotton was on the baseline when she caught the ball.
Yep.
Blocks beget blocks, so we've seen 2 for the Wildcats and now 1 for Jackson State in this third quarter. That's a good catch, Sabrina. Montoya comes back in. Shalance Montoya has been the bane of the Wildcats' existence defensively.
Yes, and that means no more post shots. What are we going to do now? Let's bring it to the middle of the court.
And they're also bringing in the leader in steals on this team, Mason A.
Oh, they're definitely trying to knock BCU off of their guard,
Defense-heavy lineup in the game for Jackson State.
Got to be careful. They're adding that pressure. Montoya with that pressure.
Kelly, wing 3, too strong. And a foul called against Clark as she was battling with Mason A. And Clark's going to be subbed out, I think, as that's her third foul. No, she's going to stay in the game. That's her third foul, though. Tough position for the Wildcats to be in right now with their 2 best players on the night in foul trouble.
Very.
I'd be surprised if we didn't see Asian A. Nicholson before too long. Langston stumbles. Mason A, baseline jumper, good.
JSU is a very strategic team, and I'd like to hand that to their coach. That was a very strategic thing to do, to bring in those post players, to bring in the top leading scorer for steals. Very strategic.
Wildcats have not gotten a point since those changes for Jackson State.
They know it's working.
Mason A with the pressure on Kelly. Floater off the rim and no.
I know something about, if floater, at least we should be fighting for that rebound. During that time that ball is in the air, I should be seeing.
Mason A 3, good, and it's a 2-point game. Wildcats, 1 of their last 5 from the floor, scoreless for over 3 minutes, and here comes Jackson State.
Right behind us. We gotta make those concise shots.
Jackson State outscoring the Wildcats 15-12 in this third quarter. 10 to shoot for Dorsey.
Top of the key.
Lancaster comes to set the screen. Dorsey goes left, pulls up, missed it.
No rebounding. Those are those second point shots we're talking about.
That's the end of the third quarter.
It's gonna be a very, very good fourth quarter. 1.8 seconds left in this game. 40-38. Mike, I don't know. This fourth quarter is going to be a good one.
They called a foul. 1.8 left as Dorsey picks up her third. 3 Wildcats with 3 fouls. Here's a half-court heave from Cotton. Hits a cheerleader. And that's the end of the third quarter. The Wildcats still lead, but the lead is down to 2.
Yes.
We knew Jackson State would make a run at it, and they did, especially late in that third quarter. They closed on a 5-0 run after the Wildcats had pushed it back out to 7.
Things that need to be done.
Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on X and Instagram at BCU_Athletics. For the latest on BCU women's basketball, follow at BCU WBB on X and Instagram. Fourth quarter coming up, and we remind people, Sabrina, of your Southeast Toyota dealers' keys to the game all the way back in the first quarter.
Finishing the game strong. We found the intensity. Shocked me. That's how high the intensity was in the first quarter. We've kept it up. You know, we've been managing it. But this is where it's going to tell us if we have been using those adjustments to what we have been looking for. 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Hasn't even started yet. We are down by 2 points. This is a major game changer on if we're going to make it all the way through the end.
The Wildcats scored 12 points in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
At Jackson State. They scored 10 points in the fourth quarter against Texas Southern. They scored 11 points against Prairie View in their last 2 games.
Yes.
They're going to need a better fourth quarter close here, because Jackson State has the momentum right now, especially with those outside shots falling.
And it's those adjustments that reignites the momentum that we're looking for, and we can find it. I do believe in our Wildcats that we can find this. They've been playing a great game today. I literally almost have no notes to really say. If we can find that same intensity we found in the first quarter, we're in for a great game.
40-38. Jackson State ended the third on a 5-0 run to close the gap to 2. Dilworth short, rebound. Jackson State. Are they going to change it? No, it's Jackson State ball.
Crowd's not agreeing with that one.
Nope. Montoya in the corner.
Nice.
Oh, Montoya got it back after the tough pressure from Jordan Brooks. And then Brooks is going to foul Glover.
I think that one was on accident. Looked like she kind of slipped into her too.
Well, a foul is a foul. It doesn't matter. You make that contact.
Yeah.
And again, you got to talk about the foul trouble the Wildcats are in, but also you don't want to give Jackson State the bonus.
Yeah.
Because they're shooting the free throw at 70% tonight. 7 out of 10, 6 out of 8 for Dilworth alone. Mason a 3. Air ball, but Montoya grabs the miss, and then it's just too strong.
That was a mixed match down there.
For Kelly underneath. Tie game.
We got to use our players wisely.
Nicholson's back in the game. Jordan Brooks scoreless tonight.
Those mid-rangers we're talking about.
And a foul. It almost looked like Nicholson and McDonald wanted the same area, collided with themselves.
Let's talk about McDonald for a second. I saw a fire ignited her that I haven't seen in so long, and I'm so happy to see that.
Not a shooting foul. Baseline in for the Wildcats, who have struggled a little bit tonight on their inbounds passes. Kelly, corner pocket.
We need that rebound.
Didn't get it. It's Montoya, who's been so big for Jackson State. Dilworth in the open floor, scores through contact. And a lead for Jackson State for the first time since it was 10-8.
Wow. We gotta fight that back. Different defense I've seen. They're running a 2-1-2 with Montoya in the middle of the court.
And Montoya gets the steal.
A steal. Strategic.
Cotton all the way. He missed the layup. But got it back.
Level our head up again. Drive.
Mason A.
Nice block.
The Wildcats desperately defending to try and keep this deficit at just 2.
Coach Richards is a very strategic coach. I see how everything's working.
Oh, an air ball from Jordan Brooks on her first shot attempt of the night. The Wildcats have been adrift offensively in this second half, just 12 points. 3 on the way from Dilworth is good.
Something was said in that locker room to JSU.
12-0 run for Jackson State. Timeout Wildcats, and they needed it.
Great use of that timeout.
The Wildcats have not scored a point in 4 minutes and 15 seconds. And it's a 12-0 run for JSU, and they lead by 5. Can you respond? Is there a counterpunch in this team offensively?
I think we lost our, it sounds bad I say lost our mind. I think we lost our, focus a little bit. We need to find that focus we had, get on the same wavelength that we were in the first half and get to that, get to that point that we were when we were playing in the beginning. That's what we need right now because it seems like JSU found theirs, which means they're not going to let up. We already know that. That's a known fact. What can we change? Because we can't change how they're playing because they know how they're playing. What can we do to counter that? What can we do to bypass them? And that's going back to how they were playing the first quarter and adding a little bit more to that.
Wildcats have 16 turnovers tonight, 11 points off turnovers for Jackson State. Quick whip around the SWAC. Mississippi Valley 61. Alabama State 51. 4.5 to go in that one. Alcorn State still leading Florida A&M at the end of the game. That's it.
Wow.
Alcorn beats FAMU 72-69. So the Braves are going to come in here on a hot streak. Let's see if the Wildcats can do the same as they close out this one. It's all Southern in Baton Rouge, 31-20 over Texas Southern. That O might be going for Texas Southern here tonight. Alabama A&M all over Pine Bluff, 49-38 at the start of the fourth quarter there. And start of the third quarter, it's 31-25 Grambling State over Prairie View A&M. Here at Moore Gym, it's a 12-0 run over the last 4 minutes and 38 seconds. And Jackson State has their largest lead since it was 10-4. When the Wildcats have been good offensively tonight, it's been in the paint. It's been with Kayla Clark and Chanel McDonald, who
There's
cashes
that
in.
ball she wanted. She wants it.
They need to keep going back to that. Have Clark and McDonald create separation down low, especially with Montoya not in the ball game. Dilworth in her bag, but misses off the heel. Dorsey down low.
Just a little too high.
Too high for Nicholson.
Just a little too high.
And Coach Creighton wants a foul. She's not going to get it, but it's another one of those too risky passes.
Yep. And those goes into those, basketball fundamental plays on being in the paint for too long or throwing cross passes almost at the end of the game, all of these ties in.
Talia Dilworth is up to a game-high 15, tied with Kayla Clark in that respect. Masonet's got 10 and Cotton's got 9 for Jackson State. Walling up is Nicholson. Offensive rebound in Mbugua. Dilworth a three, no good. But Mbugua another rebound, and she's fouled by McDonald. McDonald's second team foul on the Wildcats in the fourth. And here comes Montoya back in.
Yep, they found what works. They use her.
They saw that one move that McDonald did on
Shut it down.
Mbugua.
Coach Richard says shut it down.
We're bringing in Montoya to shut it down. Dilworth has the ball kick off her foot, but she recovers. They left her open for three. She doesn't take it.
Probably very smart of her not to.
Masonet, here's the three. Good for Kelsey. It's raining threes in the fourth quarter. The second one in as many trips down the floor for Jackson State.
I think Jackson State is trying to use those threes to create a gap.
Ties Jackson State's largest lead of the night at 6. Clark matched up against Cooper.
Nice.
Baseline jumper for Nicholson.
Kayla Clark is reading that court like she has never before, and I am loving every part of it.
She can't trade twos for threes. The Wildcats still down 4 here. 6 minutes to go. Stops necessary for the maroon and gold. Kelsey back to Dilworth. Back to the corner. Another three.
Like we talked
Two
about
straight
earlier,
for Kelsey.
They are really trying to create that gap, so it's harder for, BCU to catch back up.
3 straight threes for Jackson State, 2 by Kelsey.
Yep. Look at that. Pop right back up.
Clark lost it. On the floor, Nicholson.
They are double teaming them.
McDonald mid-range, no. Clark, rebound.
Nice.
Nicholson, oh, missed the layup. Nicholson screaming at the official wanting a foul, none forthcoming. 51-44, Jackson State on a heater, but Margaret Richards wants a timeout.
We have to find our pace in playing the game. That's what, honestly, the one note that I have.
Since the Wildcats led by 7 at the media timeout of the third quarter, Jackson State has outscored Bethune-Cookman 18-4. And this is what good teams do, Sabrina. They find ways to win. And we saw that with Alabama A&M, the last home game that the Wildcats dropped 2 Thursdays ago.
Yes.
The Wildcats were in that game, down by 2, middle of the third quarter, and then Alabama A&M just turned it on and said, we're winning this game now. I think Jackson State got into that similar mindset.
Yes, and we need to find ours. Because we're working with a strategic team. That's already been said and done. What are we going to do? How are we going to counteract it? That is the question of the night. The question of the night is, how are we going to counteract it? What are the adjustments we're going to make?
The 3 ball has been falling like water through a glass for Jackson State in the second half. 1 for Dilworth, 2 for Mason, 3 for Cotton, 2 for Kelsey. In this third quarter alone, they're 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. Kelsey's got 2 and Dilworth has 1. Out of the timeout, Jackson State with the ball up 6. Correction, up 8. Down low, Montoya against Clark, and Montoya scores. Shalance Montoya is up to 6 points. Her average is 4. So a good night for her. Very good night. Nicholson lost the ball, but it comes straight to Dorsey. 8 to shoot. Down to Clark against Montoya. Kick out Dorsey, 3 on the shot clock. Off the front of the rim, no good.
This is where it comes in, where we have to be able to rebound. This can't be like, oh, I'll rebound first quarter, I'm not going to rebound second quarter. This needs to be continuous. Those second chance points, especially at a very close party like this, is very crucial.
It's 15-4 in the fourth quarter. It goes back to those Southeast Toyota dealers' keys to the game. Finish strong as Mason throws it out of bounds. Montoya couldn't get that catch. As Dilworth, after sitting for a minute, comes back in. And Kayla Clark's going to take a seat. What a great night for Kayla Clark. 15 and 11, a double-double for her. Ajane Nicholson, 1 rebound off of another double-double, which would be her 6th in a row. But the Wildcats, kickball from Dilworth. Down 9, their largest deficit of the game with 3:50 left. And now when those threes haven't been falling for the Wildcats, just 1 of 8 on the night, now you're going to have to rely on them a little bit.
Yep.
And you don't want to be held to under 50 by the same team twice in a season. They were held to just 47 in Jackson.
Nice use of her butt.
Oh, a foul called late on Joy Dow.
She's been looking for it all night, though.
Check that. That is Mbugwa. Third foul on Mbugwa. Nobody's got 4 fouls in the game. A lot of players have 3, though. Clark, Nicholson have 3 for the Wildcats, and Mbugwa has 3 for Jackson State. And Chanel McDonald at the free throw line. But the Wildcats, cold as it is in this gym from the floor in the second half, just 6 field goals since halftime.
Let's find that fire. Need a lighter.
And 1 of 8 from 3 for the Wildcats tonight, which has really hurt them considering Jackson State is 8 of 17.
Yep.
Wildcats will bring some pressure here. Trying to get a couple of turnovers, but that's an easy inbound pass.
Yes, there we go.
Kelly with the steal, and then throws it away. Langston tried to save it. Foul called on Kelly as she was battling with Dilworth. Third foul on the Wildcats in the quarter.
At least
First
we
on
ran
Kelly.
this way.
Almost got that steal. Cotton, who's been the danger woman from three, along with Kelsey, who's got the ball right now. And stepping on the baseline is Jalea Cotton. Will give the ball back to the Wildcats. Even if Jackson State gets out of here with a win, I don't think Margaret Richards is going to be very happy with the performance tonight for Jackson State. I mean, 13 turnovers, just 38% from the floor. Kelly spots up for three and is way off.
Need that rebound.
Dilworth boxes out for it. 53-46, 3 minutes to go.
You're keeping them low.
Jackson State going to use all the time. Each time down the floor, Dilworth baseline off the glass, no good. Tap to McDonald.
Drive, please drive.
Dorsey.
Yep.
Puts it up and
There we
good.
go. Her signature shot.
She loves that free throw line pull-up.
Yes.
And we thought for a while tonight that Dorsey was not going to be able to continue after she went down with an injury at the beginning of the second half.
But this also goes to show us that she's also a major part of this program.
Especially defensively. Look at her dog, the on-ball defender.
Yes.
Crazy Karen.
This is what we're looking for.
Steal for the Wildcats. Nicholson travels.
The more maniacs are going crazy. Somebody just slammed their head over down.
The Wildcats can never get any sort of momentum. It's always a turnover.
Something, you know. You gotta find it. I think let's make this a very let's change our words. Maybe a controlled momentum. You know, that's what we're looking for.
You got to control the ball.
Yeah.
Wildcats still in touching distance though, down 5.
Yep. This is anybody's game still.
Couple of stops, couple of baskets, and it's right back there. They got to get those stops on the defensive end though.
I think the best way to see it is every time whoever has the ball, that person on defense.
Cotton over Clark, missed it. Montoya is right there.
Gotta rebound.
What a night for Shalance Montoya. 8 points on 4 of 4 shooting.
JSU running a monster defense at the moment.
Clark got it by Montoya in the corner. Kelly had it blocked, but Janessa gets it back. She's double teamed. Got it to Nicholson. Montoya fouls Nicholson.
That's what we're looking for, drawing those fouls. Even if it's a mismatch, go up with it.
And I think Montoya's not happy about it, but I think the foul is a shooting space foul and not an arm contact foul.
Oh,
she got all ball. But
absolutely.
that is the 3rd on Montoya. So now both centers for Jackson State have 3 fouls. But again, there's only 129 left in the contest.
Now with BCU with 61% at the free throw line, these are the times that it's really crucial that we make every one of them.
That's their season average, Bethune-Cookman. It's bottoms in the SWAC. And Nicholson is too strong on the first one. The Wildcats were 9 of 12, 75% before then tonight. Yeah. 3 of 4 for both Clark, McDonald, and Nicholson. That's Nicholson's second miss. Oh of 2 for Nicholson. Rebound Kelly. Picks up her dribble. And a timeout.
Timeout. Adjustments.
Wildcats down 5, 1:25 left.
JSU better not get too comfortable. A minute 25, down by, say, 6, correct?
That was the last time out for the Wildcats, though.
So this is the last adjustment that needs to be made. Let's take heed of what Coach says and see if we can apply it in the best way that we can.
Wildcats down 2 scores, but I wouldn't launch a 3 here. I'd still attack the basket.
Absolutely. Draw those fouls as much time as we can. Stop that clock as much time as we can.
All 3 of the Wildcats forwards in double figures tonight. Clark 15, McDonald 13, Nicholson 11. But the guards, Dorsey with 4, Kelly with 3, Langston with 2, Brooks no score tonight, 0 of 1 shooting. What a night for Kayla Clark, though. 15 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. She's 3 of 4 at the free throw line. She also has 2 steals and 2 blocks.
A dog. Player of the night in my book, for
I think
sure.
her best individual performance of the season,
yes,
in my opinion.
And I am very happy. Like, very happy, Mike. I couldn't be happier.
The Wildcats will be inbounding with 16 on the shot clock here, but they're going to have some urgency to try and get back into this one down 5.
You know JSU is going to come with that pressure, with that ball in. Where are we going to go?
To Clark. Back out Dorsey. Kelly had the ball ripped away from her. She goes to the ground, gets it back to Dorsey. Langston fires a 3, way off.
I don't think that was the smartest move to make.
Nicholson, another offensive rebound.
And they're not calling the fouls.
60 ticks to go. Dorsey all on her lonesome. Clark on the baseline against Montoya. Kick out Kelly. Her three-pointer. Bang! There's the 3 the Wildcats
That's what we're
needed.
looking for.
Wildcats down by 4, 55-51.
Pressure.
And they foul already.
But did they foul the wrong person, though?
Well, it's going to send Cooper to the line.
They fouled the wrong person because I think she's on the board for 3s tonight. Uh-oh.
No, they're not in the bonus yet.
Yep.
They will be after the next foul.
Okay. Well, that was smart then. That was smart.
And Dilworth is actually coming out of the game now. I'm
Interesting.
not sure about that one.
I think they're getting too comfortable.
Still a 4-point lead. Wildcats really need a steal here.
Yes. A steal and a stop.
No pressure on the inbounds pass. Masonet into the front court. Cotton runs around with it.
They're going to pass.
They're not going to shoot
There
the
it
ball,
goes.
but they turn it over.
That's what we're looking for.
There's the turnover. Dorsey comes back in.
Nice. And I'm glad that they used Jordan Brooks for that play. She's really great on steals. And what's that word that you use? Befuddling the players.
I like that word.
Yes.
It's a good word. Wildcats need a quick bucket here. Down 4, 40 seconds left.
They can't take too much time. They can't take too much time.
They're getting face guarded up top. Clark, 30 seconds left. No movement for the Wildcats here. Nicholson takes the shot, makes the shot. 2-point game, 55-53.
Nice
timeout, Jackson State.
That intensity, that poise that we were looking for in the first half, that we kind of sort of, saw. We lost a bit during third quarter. We're finally finding that back now.
Wildcats on a 9-2 run over the last 4:30. The game is never over, Sabrina.
Never over. And I told them, don't get too comfortable, Don't get too comfortable.
There is no BC without you. Help show your support for Bethune-Cookman Athletics by joining the Wildcat Champions Club today. Help us build a championship culture at Bethune-Cookman. You can donate and join at bcuathletics.com/champions-club. That's bcuathletics.com/champions-club. Now, with the clock under 30 seconds, Sabrina, you got to either steal the inbounds or get a foul. And it will send them to the free throw line where they're the best free throw shooting team in the SWAC at 70%.
Yeah, so we have to be careful.
And Dilworth has checked back into the game.
Oh.
And they've brought Jordan Brooks back in to guard her.
For steals. Great
Here
defense. She's
we
fast.
go. Is there a miracle in Moore Gym tonight?
I think we can find them.
Got a foul, they do. And it's gonna send Masonet to the free throw line, where she's a 72% free throw shooter on the season.
We're gonna need all the helps of the Moore Maniac right now.
Masonet has not been to the line yet tonight. 23 seconds left.
To reiterate back what you were talking about, how even if JSU leaves with this win, just in case they do, Coach Richards won't be happy. There is the Moore Maniacs, we know.
Masonet hits it. 3-point game. Wildcats need a quick bucket on the other end.
Yes, we're praying, hoping that she does not. A three-pointer would be nice.
Well, and no timeouts for the Wildcats, so they can't stop the clock. Masonet, clutch free throws. 23 seconds left. Here comes the trap. Brooks into the front court. Langston. Nicholson off on the shot. Rebound, Jackson State.
And they're taking their time with
That's probably it.
Yep.
Cotton is fouled, and the Wildcats will come up just short. Keys to the game.
Keys to the game.
Finish. Outscored 19-13 in the fourth quarter.
Yep. We got to figure out where those problems lie at, you know? Those
Jackson
are
State
major factors.
Is going to escape Moore Gym with a win tonight.
Just barely. And I think I could say that for the way that the Wildcats have been playing, just barely. If there was a few other adjustments that was being made for the fourth quarter,
and it's going cold on offense.
Yep.
I think the defense was respectable tonight.
No, nothing to say about that one.
Of course, the 8 threes for Jackson State hurts. But the Wildcats, in the second half, shoot 35% from the floor. They just make 9 field goals in the second half.
I wonder what clicked for JSU, you know?
I think it was Montoya coming into the game and locking us down defensively.
Definitely
because
a game changer.
Before that, Jackson State had no answers defensively to the Wildcats' bigs. And once Montoya came in and started denying that entry pass, the Wildcats kind of looked adrift offensively a little bit.
We're in the right path. That's one thing that I could definitely say. I don't really see anything that, is major. I think this is one of their better games, like we talked about throughout this entire season. Best of wish and lucks to Jackson State. But I'm very proud of how the Wildcats played this game.
Final scoring totals for tonight's contest for Bethune-Cookman. Kayla Clark, brilliant tonight. 15 points on 6 of 11 of shooting. 11 rebounds for a double-double. 9 assists. She led the team in points, rebounds, and assists tonight. Also 2 steals, 2 blocks for Kayla Clark. Ajane Nicholson, the double-double machine, got another one, 13 and 10. Missed a couple of free throws down the stretch. Also had 3 steals and a block and 4 assists for Nicholson. McDonald, 13 points, 7 boards, 1 assist, and 3 steals. Janessa Kelly, 6 points, 2 of 8 from three-point land. Dorsey with 4, Langston with 2. And for Jackson State, Dilworth, 15 points, really an off night for her, 4 of 12 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3, but 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Yeah. Good shooters get to the line and convert there.
Yeah.
Masonet, 12. Cotton, 11, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc for Jalea Cotton. Montoya, 8. She only averages 4 a game, Montoya, so a great night for her. 4 of 4 shooting and a team high 6 rebounds. Kelsey, 7, Mbugwe, 2, Cooper, 2, Glover, 2, Beretti and Esco did not score. Team stats, the Wildcats out-rebounded Jackson State 38-29 and 12-9 on the offensive glass, leading to 9 second chance points for the Wildcats, 7 second chance points for Jackson State. The Wildcats turned the ball over 19 times, points off turnovers 16 for Jackson State, but The Wildcats 17 points off turnovers for Jackson State. The Tigers turned the ball over 17 times. Fast break points was all Jackson State, 11-8. Both teams had 11 steals. And again, points off turnovers, 17-16 in favor of the Wildcats. And I think it's all to do with just a combination of going cold from the floor in the second half and Jackson State locking down defensively and making the right adjustments.
Absolutely. And it's that quick adjustment that we're looking for here at our program at BCU that will definitely change the trajectory on how we play. We have the players. The puzzle pieces are there. Let's try and put them together, you know? All in all, though, it's an amazing game played by our Wildcats. I'm in awe. I'm very proud. Nothing to say.
Wildcats got to have a short memory. Another revenge game coming up on Saturday as they get Alcorn State in the gym on Saturday afternoon. Quick whip around this SWAC. We already know that Mississippi Valley State moves into playoff position at the 10 spot after they take down Alabama State 68-57. Alcorn State, they're coming into Moore Gym on a high. They beat Florida A&M in Tallahassee 74-69. It's the fourth quarter, but it's all Southern, 48-37, as they look to try and take down the currently undefeated Texas Southern Tigers. Alabama A&M dominating Arkansas Pine Bluff 69-52 with a minute to go there. And with a minute to go in the third quarter, it is Grambling State 49, Prairie View 38. Once again here at Moore Gymnasium, the final score, Jackson State 59, Bethune-Cookman 53. The Wildcats dropped to 7-18 and 4-8 in conference play. They're only now one game above the potential drop zone. So they got to win a couple of these down the stretch. You potentially could miss the tournament. For Jackson State, they pushed their overall record at 12-11, so they are in the positives on the season, and they're now 10-2 in conference play. They'll be still tied with Southern for second in the conference after tonight. Sabrina, your final thoughts on a really good game tonight at Moore Gym.
Let's apply this game, watch film, let's watch this film and see what went wrong, apply that to the next game to fix us, to be better, and, you know, move forward as a better team.
Once again, your final score, Jackson State 59, Bethune-Cookman 53. For Sabrina Petit-Home here at the desk, producer Lee, and our entire student broadcast crew here at the CatEye Network, my name is Michael Torello. We'll see you on Saturday for an Alcorn State doubleheader.